Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. As per usual, I'm consistently inconsistent and it's been a hot minute since I've made a video because so much craziness has happened that I can't even tell you. I do not take medication. It is something that I've opted out of, and I think that truly medication could really do wonders for people if it's the right medication, and I think some people shouldn't take it. And I've done enough deep dive digging and searching and rabbit holes of the ADHD world that I feel like that's a common thing, that some people feel like it was a really big answer for them. A lot of people are also trying to get off of medication, and then some people don't want to take it. My experience with Adderall, it wasn't really good. I kind of just abused it. If you want to call me an addict like somebody did in the comments once, go for it. Call me whatever you want. It just wasn't for me. So I think truly you can be a success and you could be a bright light in this world without taking medication for your ADHD. And some people frankly can't get it. Some people also struggle to even get an ADHD diagnosis, but they feel like they know that they have it. This is something that you can do to help yourself out with your ADHD that might not even be diagnosed.
So how are you even gonna get medicine in the first place?
I'm gonna go over probably about 10 or 11 things. I'm really bad at numbering things because then I just start throwing more ideas in there. ADHD. So it's about 10 ideas that I have that I wrote down that I truly do to help me with my ADHD. And number one is I try to start my day with this, or at some point bring this in, but I pray to God every single day about my day, about my ADHD, who I am, how He created me to be. But it's kind of my way of just trusting God in my life, that He made me the way I am, that I am beautifully and wonderfully made, that He knew me, He knit me together in my mother's womb, He loves me for who I am, and He made me the way that I am. He gave me the cards in life that I was dealt with, and it's up to me to improve upon them and to better myself, and also to trust that He's got me, that if He cares for the birds in the sky and He clothes the flowers in the field, who am I to critique how the Creator made me?
He is the potter and I am the clay.
I just give it to God and I pray every day. And I have seen it said before, and hold that thought. I got a little bit of items here, but in this book, Delivered from Distraction, which I've mentioned in the past, it's by Edward M. Hallowell and John Rady. And I love this book and I love him, Edward Hallowell. I've found him on different videos and resources, and he's amazing. And in that book, I was really excited to find, he kind of talks about giving your ADHD and just kind of handing it over to God as almost like a 12-step program for people that have been in recovery. Step one is to kind of admit that, you're kind of powerless, I guess you could say. I don't like that word because I don't think you're powerless, but ADHD is out of your hands. You have it, you come up against it in your life, but it's like accepting that you have it, knowing that you have it, and then giving it to God. And finding out that I had ADHD was amazing because at least I was fighting in the light. I wasn't fighting in the farting. I wasn't farting in the dark anymore. I knew what I was up against, which leads me into the second thing that I have done with my ADHD, and I continue to do pretty consistently, is I inform myself on ADHD. I try to follow different people on ADHD on Instagram or TikTok or, YouTube here. How to ADHD, I'm sure you all have seen it, is a great YouTube channel for resources for ADHD, to discover your ADHD. Also here, my channel. I basically try to learn what I can about ADHD, but also not just that, which is like a little bonus thing under category 2. I learned about myself. I've been in therapy for years. I also like to do personality tests. I know we've talked about the Enneagram recently. There's also the Myers-Briggs. There's also DISC. There's so many different personality tests that you can take, because just because you have ADHD, we're all different facets. And so I just like to figure myself out, and maybe it's my hyper focus. I don't know, but love to learn about ADHD and myself and figuring out myself so I can boss up and improve myself and be a better version of myself, so I can bring just greatness to the world.
So I can make the world a better place.
So the third thing I try my best, my darndest on, is to have a really well-balanced diet. And I know that diet is taboo. Everybody has their own idea of what kind of diet you should be on, what is best for brain nutrients or brain nutrition, and what is good for you. At the end of the day,
whole and organic is the best way to go.
I do lean towards keto, and know that's just not eating a block of cheese and a ribeye. It's eating healthy fats like coconut oil, fatty salmon, or avocado, olives, things of that nature. But Obviously, it's not easy to maintain a full keto diet. You dip out of ketosis easily. For the most part, I try to eat like paleo, keto to the best of my ability. I do try to avoid flour. I try to avoid processed things. I try to avoid sugar. Sugar is not good for an ADHD brain. It's basically a whole other video. Nutrition is a whole video, and you could go down the rabbit hole of what is good or what is not good for an ADHD mind. But I, for the most part, try to the best of my ability to eat healthy. I also have some of my little vitamins and supplements that I do take. One of the best things I feel like you could take is the very finest fish oil, Carlson. This is the one I take. It is natural lemon flavor and it is really good, and I don't feel like it has a fishy taste. And it might be in the description below, I'm not sure. I also really load up on my vitamin C, and I do like to make myself little emergency vitamin C drinks as well if I run out. And one thing I do is I try coffee. I feel like for ADHD, I've had a video about this, is good in doses.
I don't feel like you should overdo it because then you could dehydrate your brain and that's not good.
But I still struggle to sleep or wake up and go to bed. I struggle to wake up, but I really do want that like boost of energy to kind of jumpstart my morning. And one thing I've invested into recently, which I've heard about through my dear friend Elizabeth, is amino energy. Essential amino energy is this kind of like a boost of energy. I get it at the supplement superstore. They probably have it all over. I'm sure you could get it on the internet. I'll try to remember to put it in the description. One other thing I do is at times I go in phases when I'm drinking my coffee. I do try to drink anything with MCT oil, which is just a component of coconut oil. And I put this in my coffee, and I put oat milk in there or almond milk, and sometimes even heavy whipping cream, which is so good. I try to avoid dairy to the best of my ability, but I try to drink organic dairy, but I don't always just make myself miserable and avoid it at all costs. One thing I also do is I use vitamin D3 emulsified. I've actually been informed that I have a very low level of vitamin D, and I was prescribed this by a doctor. He's said that I had a shockingly low amount. A lot of people do have low vitamin D, especially in the wintertime if we live up north. But vitamin D is really good for energy. And then lion's mane is a really good natural nootropic for brain stimulation and health and immunity and focus and energy. Vitarol. I got this on Amazon. If I take too many of these vitamins, obviously sometimes it's made me nauseous. So I try to not take them every single day or overwhelm myself. But just in general, I also take, first form, I take these micro factor nutrient packets that have a lot of different vitamins and supplements in here. So I'm not just overwhelmed by how many different vitamins and packets I need to take. It's kind of in one big, easy thing to take. If you want me to go in more details on vitamins, I have a different video on vitamins. I can make another one. I always kind of wanted to. This one has so much stuff jam-packed in here, antioxidants, CoQ10 and things like that. And I take this almost every day, and I feel like it really helps me find my way. So moving on from there, stay hydrated to the best of your ability. I try to stay hydrated, and I try to not hydrate myself with things that'll dehydrate my brain, aka coffee or I try to avoid caffeine because it keeps me up at night and then I have bad sleep, yada, yada, yada. But I literally cut myself off of coffee at noon, because if I drink coffee any later than that, I'll be up all night. Even noon sometimes is pushing it. I feel like I should just have my one morning coffee and that's it. But sometimes I don't wake up in the morning. I wake up at 11:30, 12. I have a really messed up sleep schedule, and I've talked about this before. So moving on, one other thing that I really have implemented and put into my life, and I've tried to stay consistent with it, but I'm consistently inconsistent, but it's back in my life for the past few months, is I know that exercise is so important for every single human being. If it could be bottled up as an antidepressant, it would be the #1 selling antidepressant on the market. And so even when I don't feel like it, because us with ADHD, we really are bad at not doing things when we don't feel like it. I will drag myself to the gym and fight myself internally, get there, because I know it's so good for me. And by the time I'm on the elliptical for a few minutes, I already am so grateful for myself that I went. Just that extra boost of energy that you give yourself, and the positive benefits of exercise for your brain and your mind power are so beneficial that I've just been knowing that I need to keep it in my life. Every time I read books on top successful people in the world and what they do, one thing that every single human being in the top 1% of the world, all of them exercise. Not all, but most of them. It's been brought up enough to where I'm like, fine. But I do like exercising. It's been really fun, and I've been adding a lot of weightlifting to my regimen with heavy weightlifting for my legs and squats and things like that. And it's been really fun. And I found a local gym that the people there are really ripped and it's really inspiring, but they don't feel judgmental. They feel so into themselves that I feel like I'm just a fly on the wall and I could kind of do my own thing. And it's been really, really fun, actually. I feel like if you find like a healthy gym environment, it can be fun. And just don't judge yourself, because anytime I see somebody that's not one of the perfectly ripped people, I'm always like, good for you. You know, we all need to be in the gym, or at least getting outside and exercising, which leads me to my next point. I do try to spend time outside. I try to, spend time in nature. There's something that I've been looking into recently. My sister Christine told me about, which was earthing. It's like actually putting your feet on the earth, your feet in the grass. As humans, we evolved by not just always wearing shoes, and it's a great way to recenter, apparently, with like the magnetic field and the energy of the earth flowing through your body. That sounds so dramatic. If anything, it just feels nice. It just feels nice to say like, hi plants, hi earth, how are you? Be in the sun and just witness, and witness nature do its thing without the craziness of modern technology and all that stuff. And that's another thing I do, which leads me to my next point, is I try to get away from technology for an intentional period of time and just set my phone aside and not watch TV and not any of that, because I can get really, really hyper-focused and obsessive with being on my phone. Even though I've been really bad at Instagram, and I'm sorry for my Instagram followers. I'm trying to stay more connected with you there because I love my Instagram community. But yes, I try to be in nature and get off my phone. And moving on from there, after that, in my home environment while I'm here at home, one thing I did recently, it was like the best thing I've ever done in my entire life, was I purged a bunch of my things. And because I kept reading that minimalism is really good for an ADHD brain. Too much decisions and too many choices overwhelms us, and it gets us to a point where like we don't know where anything is. We buy multiple things of things that we forgot that we already had. We don't remember where we put things that are clustery make our already overwhelmed minds even more overwhelmed. So it causes us to run late because we can't remember where we put things. For example, like with getting rid of a bunch of clothes that I never wore, every time I'd put it on, I'd be like, no, I don't want this. But then I'd hang it back up in my closet. I'm like, why do I still have this? It always irritates me when I put it on. So I purged over 3 giant trash bags full of clothes. I got rid of things in my apartment that I never use. I got rid of books I'm never going to read. I got rid of kitchenware and just knick-knacky things and trinkets that just clutter up my space that I don't know why I still have. Like an unnecessary reason to hold on to it because it maybe has sentimental value that doesn't even exist anymore. So I've recently gone minimalistic, except in this room. This has officially become my junk room. It's the catch-all of everything. So I need to go through this room because it's been subconsciously bothering me, but the rest of my apartment doesn't. And I've been able to like use my essential oils, and like some essential oils are good for ADHD brains, including frankincense and things like that, which just smells nice. I don't know if it's really beneficial. I just like the way my apartment smells, and it gets me in a good mood, and it makes me excited to be home and excited to be alive. Another thing I do after the minimalistic stuff is I use a calendar. I know we've talked about this before. I also have a giant blank marker board that I just recently bought a few months ago, and it's been really helpful for me to write things on there. It doesn't have to be in any certain space. I have like a line down the middle of to-dos and don't forgets and whatever. To-dos that day, I should say, and then don't forgets that needs to be done in the future. And it really, really helps me. It doesn't have to be in a specific category, because sometimes I get overwhelmed of like, well, I need to put it there or there. Just get it out of your brain, put it on a wall. And I've been using this calendar as well for kind of like more specific weekly things. I also use pencil when I write. I do not write in pen as much as I used to, because I get so annoyed when I mess up with pen and I can't erase it. That's just a me thing. That's what I do. But I got electric pencils. That's what Christine, my sister, does. And I was like, oh, I should use pencils. I don't know why in my brain I'm like, now that I'm an adult, I can only use pens. Who said that? So I got some really cute pencils that make me feel super, super official. Official in what? I don't know. But I use calendars to the best of my ability. And I also have a little marker board on my fridge that I write down things that I need to get at the grocery store, at like Walgreens. And that's only where I put those things, because I don't put them on my to-do list marker board, because that one is more for like if I need to get my oil changed or do my taxes or more things like that. The grocery store thing, it's because it's right at my fridge, and it's also right out when I'm leaving out the door, and I'll see it more frequently and be like, oh yeah, I need to get that. So it's a great way of reminding me. And I also put my keys on a key hook where I put my mail. I got one of those things off Amazon. Best thing I've ever bought. I never lose my keys anymore. Seriously, changed my life. Revolutionary. With that said, with the minimalism and having places where you know things are going to be, cleanliness for me is really important, especially with my ADHD brain. I don't always do the best job, but because my apartment is not as cluttery anymore, even when it gets kind of messy, it's easy for me to clean up. And I mentioned this before, but I use the Pomodoro technique, which is a great way to kind of jumpstart myself into cleaning mode when I've kind of let it get away from me for a little bit. Set the timer for 25 minutes. I always use music. Music is a lifesaver for me. Love me some music. It just gets me in the vibe, in the mode to do anything, whether it's clean or, I don't know, do math. I don't know what else I do. I have no life. I use the Pomodoro technique to help me get things done when it's that thing that I don't really want to do, like eating the frog, like the biggest thing you have to do that day. Just set a timer and start, as Mel Robbins says, which she has ADHD and she's an amazing motivational speaker. She says, just start. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, blast off and go. Get it done. But the whole point of this is whenever my apartment is clean, I feel better. I don't feel as stressed, which that we all know rolls into other negative things. I also like to keep my car clean to the best of my ability. I take out any trash that's in my car. I also have a little baggie that I put trash in. That's what I do to the best of my ability, keep things clean. And then I also just check in with myself and remind myself that you're doing a good job, Ardell. You're doing the best job that you can do. You're only one person. Stop putting the weight of the world on your shoulders. You know you have ADHD. You gave it to God. He gave you this brain for a reason. He's going to use you. He needs you to be this way. He designed you this way. You're fine. And my last tip, I don't know what number I'm on, 12, 13, 15, 20, is I just try to laugh and have fun in life as much as possible. One of my favorite things is a good belly laugh where you're laughing so hard you can't breathe and you're silent and you're laughing probably more than you should and other people are giving you that look like it wasn't that funny, but you find it so funny. I love to laugh. I put on stand-up comedy. I watch my favorite TikTokers. I love to look at memes, talk to people that make me laugh. One of my closest friends, Elizabeth, is one of the funniest people I know. My other best friend, Nathan, is one of the funniest people I've known. I've known them for years and they still make me laugh. Can I call a friend? Please make me laugh. But seriously, or my sisters, my older sister and my sister Christine that you met, my older sister,
Emily Therese.
She's one of my best friends. She makes me laugh. Just try to laugh and not take it so dang seriously. And I'm preaching to the choir here and I'm reminding myself of this because I know that I have a tendency to put a lot of pressure on myself and take things too seriously, but it's not that critical. Extra bonus. Find a new hobby. Find something that you like doing and do it. Or pick up an old hobby that you forgot about. Finish that project. We all know we have 50 of them that we never finished, right? Can I get an amen? Well, that is my simple video for the day. I really hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you got something out of it. And if there's anything that you do for your ADHD, whether you take medication or you don't, because I know that it's not the cure-all, what do you do to help manage your ADHD? I would love to hear from you. Please let me know in the comments below your thoughts. Did you get anything out of this? Did you like it? Did you absolutely hate it? Did you disagree with all of it? Regardless, again, thank you for watching this video. If you liked what you saw, please give it one big thumbs up. Don't forget to click the gray bell to be notified the moment I upload another video. Trying to get on track for every Wednesday, we'll see. But for every time I upload another video, click that gray bell and you'll be notified. You must know by now that you are in my prayers. I think about you all the time. I can't get to all of your comments anymore. I wish I could, but I read a lot of them and I think everybody in this community is amazing and wonderful. And I'm praying for you all the time because I know ADHD sometimes isn't the funnest way to live life, but because I know that sometimes ADHD can pose certain challenges, but I think we're pretty awesome. I'm gonna be honest. Everybody that I know that has ADHD is one of the funniest, fun, easygoing, loving people that I've ever met. So, again, thank you for watching and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.